3, hit it!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. Depending on when you're listening to this, I wanted to mention a training that's coming up in fall 2023 that I'm very excited about, brand new training called The Invitation. And it's an invitation to wake up, meet your soul, and live an impossibly wonderful life. And you can learn more about it by going to michaelneill.org/invitation. The other day, I was watching a YouTube documentary that had just come out about co-founder of NLP, Dr. Richard Bandler, called Altered States. And if you're interested in it, it's well made. It's, in all honesty, there were bits of it I loved, there were bits of it I wasn't nuts about, but that was my world for a long time. I had the chance to teach alongside Dr. Bandler, and NLP was my field of study for 18 years. And especially in the first sort of like half hour of the movie, I was reminded of why I had so enjoyed NLP and getting really into the structure of subjective experience and the details of how far close the images in your mind are and how if you change the way that you think about things literally at a structural level in your mind, it changes the way that you feel. And I started to really get kind of excited about it and remember, oh my God, I can't believe, why did I stop doing that? And then at a certain point, I remembered why I stopped doing it. Because what had happened to me personally is, in seeing that I could mess with the structure of the movies in my mind, I kind of became more and more obsessed with the movies in my mind. And what I actually saw that gave me my first real experience of peace of mind, of just pure freedom of mind, was realizing that I didn't have to watch the movie, that I didn't have to mess with the movie, that if I didn't like the movie, I didn't have to change it, I didn't have to fix it, but I also didn't have to keep watching it, and there'd be another movie along in a minute. And one of the first times I noticed it in real life, and at the time it felt like an utter failure, was there was a movie called Arachnophobia. And I think it was actually a comedy. To be absolutely honest, I have never gone back and watched it, but I went with my wife, and I got so freaked out in the first 10 minutes of the movie by these giant spiders that I left. I never walk out of movies. I left, and I just sat in the lobby until my heart stopped beating. And, my wife stayed and watched the entire movie, and she loved it. That's why I think it's a comedy, because I seem to remember her telling me that. But at the time, it felt like, oh man, if I was, if I really, had a mastery of my mind, I would have been able to stay in the movie, and I would have been able to tell myself it's just a movie, and it would have been okay. And I felt like such a failure for walking out of the movie. But when I was thinking about it recently after watching this documentary, I was going, oh, wow, how smart was I? How genius was I that instead of toughing it out and proving to myself that I could suffer through it, I just went to the lobby. I even brought my popcorn with me. And I actually wound up having kind of a nice time out in the lobby, looking at posters, reading movie magazines, and eating popcorn and just thinking about other movies I might like to see in the future. And it turns out that our own thinking isn't our world. It's just what's playing in the movie theater of our minds. And there's usually something playing. Like, I don't know if you have a different experience, but most of the time, there's some movie playing in the movie theater of my mind. There's some thinking going on. And sometimes it's vivid and bold and coherent and has music and soundtrack. And some of these movies have been playing for decades. And some of them are brand new, and some of them are inspiring. And and I get great ideas when I watch them, and I feel empowered and alive. And some of them amuse me and entertain me, and some of them are horrible. And I've learned that I don't have to do anything about them because I don't have to watch them. In any moment, I can step out of the movie theater into the lobby. I can step out of the screening room and enjoy the rest of the house. See, we tend to spend so much time in the movie theater of our minds that we start to think that's all there is. But you are so much more than your thoughts. You are so much more than the thinker of your thoughts and the experiencer of your experience. You are the whole thing. And you think. And if what's playing in the movie theater of the mind is working for you, then why wouldn't you enjoy it? And if it's not, if it's scaring you, if it's bringing you down, why would you stay to the end of the movie? And it's funny because I went to a movie recently and, had been thinking about this. And when I was in the lobby, I could still hear that the movie was playing. I could make out some of the sounds. So it's not like I stopped. The movie stopped just because I stepped out. But it stopped impacting me. It stopped being what my experience of life was. And I could step back into the movie at any time. And I could step out. One of the things that came to mind is we were at a children's party years ago, and it was when Bertie Bott's every flavored beans had jelly beans had come out. So they were from the Harry Potter franchise, and the way they work, you can actually get these, and there's if you get a green one, it might taste like lime, or it might taste like boogers. And if you get a brown one, it might taste like chocolate or it might taste like poop. And they're really clever because they all kind of look the same and smell the same, but they taste dramatically different. And I noticed that, the game, so the children's game is you fill a bowl with these and pass them around, and, each person in the circle has to take one and eat it. And, you're hoping, oh God, I hope it's chocolate and not poop. I hope it's chocolate and not poop. And, oh God, it's poop. And I noticed that the difference between the kids and the grown-ups is that the kids would keep chewing it even if it was poop, and the grown-ups would spit it out. And it's kind of the same in the movie theater of your mind. Once you understand the game, you don't have to stay and watch the movies that aren't entertaining you, the movies that are driving you crazy, the movies that you've seen 1,000 times before and they just always end badly. So you can enjoy the show when you want to. You can sit up in the balcony and eat your popcorn and enjoy, or at any moment, you can step outside and let the movie go on without you. And you'll find that hanging out in the lobby of your mind is a place of pure possibility. And it's not that you don't watch movies anymore. It's not that you stop thinking. It's that you stop thinking you have to entertain every thought, every movie that passes through your mind. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk with you soon.